again, my dear students. Welcome to Great Research. This time, our topic is about the basic types or styles of resume. There are several basic types of resumes you can use to apply for job openings. You can choose to write a chronological, functional, combination, or a targeted resume. Each resume type is used for different purposes. Therefore, when deciding which type of resume to use, you have to think about your current circumstances. Let us check the first type, the chronological resume. A chronological resume starts by listing your work experience with the most recent position listed first. Below your most recent job, you list your other jobs in reverse chronological order. Employers typically prefer this type of resume because it's easy to see what jobs you have held and when you have worked at them. This is the most common resume type. This type of resume works well for job seekers with a strong, solid work history. So taking a closer look at the example of chronological resume, so we will notice that under the professional history, so he has already or she has already 2 work experiences. So the first one was from August 2015 to July 2017, and then the most recent position, which should be written at the first part, is from July 2017 to present. So that is a chronological resume. Moving on, the second is the functional resume. A functional resume focuses on your skills and experience rather than on your chronological work history. Instead of having a work history section at the top of your resume, you might have a professional experience or accomplishment section that lists various skills you have developed over the years. A functional resume may sometimes include a resume summary or headline at the top, which details a person's skills and achievements. A functional resume might not include one's employment history at all, or might have a concise list of work history at the bottom of the resume. Functional resumes are used most often by people who are changing careers or who have gaps in their employment history. It is also useful for people who are new to the workforce, have limited work experience, or who have a gap in their employment. By highlighting skills rather than work history, one can emphasize that he or she is qualified for the job. Let's take a closer look at our example. So look at the resume introduction. So it is included there at the top. And if you will take a closer look at the experience section, you will notice that the applicant or the person worked for 3 positions or careers. So he worked as waiter, server, and barback. So that is what I mean by changing careers. So this functional resume is used most often by those people who are changing careers or who have gaps in their employment history. So kung, for example, nagtrabaho and then huminto and then nag-change ng position o ng trabaho, so this will be used to apply for another job. So yung functional resume. Alright? The third one is a combination resume. A combination resume is a mix between a chronological resume and a functional resume. At the top of the resume is a list of one's skills and qualifications. Below this is one's chronological work history. However, the work history is not the focus of the resume and typically does not take up much space on the resume. With this type of resume, you can highlight the skills you have that are relevant to the job you're applying for, as well as provide your chronological work history. After all, most employers want to see your chronological work history even if that history is not very extensive. So this kind of resume helps you highlight what makes you the best fit for the job while still giving the employer all the information he or she wants. So taking a closer look at an example, so ito daw po ay pinagsamang chronological resume and the functional resume. So take a closer look at the experience or professional experience. So you have there 2 work experiences. So from June 2016 to August 2016, and then the most recent is from August 2016 to the present. And as we said that it is a mixture or a combination of chronological resume and the functional resume. So it focuses more on skills and abilities, and you will notice there that he has a summary. So meron din siyang summary on top. Okay, so that is why it is a combination of a chronological resume and a functional resume. Next, we have the infographic resume. Infographic resumes include graphic design elements in addition to or instead of text. A traditional resume uses text to list a candidate's work experience, education, and skills, while an infographic resume uses layout, color, design, formatting, icons, and font styling to organize the content. In our example, you will notice that there are different shapes or formats that was used by the applicant. So it is more of icons and designs rather than text. So ito yung sinasabing infographics because it is made up of layout and font styling, unlike the other previous resume or types of resumes that I have mentioned. So ito yung first na resume na merong mga designs na. Okay, so that is infographic resume. Then next we have the resume profile. A resume with a profile section includes a concise summary of an applicant's skills, experiences, and goals as they relate to a specific job. This summary, typically no more than a couple of sentences long, helps the candidate sell his or herself to the company to which he or she is applying. So here, it is stated there on the summary at the top of the resume what his past experience is and the job or the position that he has performed over 6 years. Ayan nga, for how long. So this will just be a shorter summary. Hindi kailangan ng mahaba. As long as nandun na yung background or yung profile, ano yung position na hinandle niya before and how long, and what are the different characteristics he has performed during the work experience. So nakalagay dyan, my unique professional experience stems from years of providing excellent customer support, yung kanyang mga skills, creative problem solving, and building customer loyalty. Adding a profile is helpful for almost any applicant. If you have extensive experience, a profile can concisely explain that experience to the hiring manager right away. If you have limited work experience, a profile can help you highlight the skills that you do have. So this profile summary or resume profile will immediately give the hiring manager an overview or a general overview of what skills you have and what position you are applying for, or if your skills fit the position that you are applying for. Next, we have the targeted resume. A targeted resume is a resume that is customized to specifically highlight the experience and skills you have that are relevant to the job you're applying for. It takes more work to write a targeted resume than to click to apply with your existing resume. However, it's well worth the effort, especially when applying for jobs that are a perfect match for your qualifications and experience. Try to write a targeted resume for every job. Employers can easily see when you submit a generic resume, rather than thinking about why you are qualified for that specific job. So this targeted resume, if you will notice on our example, highlight the experience and skills. So nakalagay na dyan yung professional experience and professional qualifications. So if you will notice, no other parts of the resume are included because ang pinaka-focus niya is to highlight the experience, nandun na yung sa professional experience and yung skills or the professional qualifications. Kaya nga targeted kasi nga the skills and experience are included that are relevant to the job applying for. Moving on, we have the non-traditional resume. A non-traditional resume is a unique version of a resume that may include photos, graphics, images, graphs, and other visuals. It might be an online resume or a physical resume with infographics as mentioned earlier. It could also be a video or a resume on a social networking website. So look at the example. You will notice that it has a very different format with the other types of resume that we have discussed earlier. So ito yung picture nasa gitna, which is usually the picture is placed at the upper right part of a resume. So tsaka ito, para siyang organizer, graphic organizer, and has different colors. So very creative. So these non-traditional resumes are ideal for people in creative fields who want to demonstrate their ability to create visually engaging designs or to create web pages. It can be a good way for a job candidate to stand out from the crowd in professions like design, web design, journalism, and more. So, di ba, sinabi ko na nga on our topic about the parts of a resume that the resume is your representative. It represents who you are and what you are in terms of skills and abilities that are related to the job you're applying for. So, pag nakita ng hiring manager na magandang itsura or very presentable ang resume, so it also reflects what kind of person the applicant is. So, natutuwa yung hiring manager pag ganyan, especially if the area or the field of the job applying for is related to designing or other creative fields. Alright? And lastly, we have mini resume. A mini resume contains a brief summary of your career highlights and qualifications. It only contains the information that relates to the position you're applying for or the industry you would like to work in. So, tingnan natin yung example. So, ito yung front, yung name, and then meron doon yung position, and then yung mga contact details niya. And then at the back, it is placed there, his characteristics. So, meron siyang short, parang resume profile sa likod. Experience, nakalagay din doon, of course, to give the hiring manager or the concerned persons about his past experience. And kaya nga mini resume, so maliit lang siya. In most cases, the traditional resume will be appropriate. A mini resume, however, can be useful at job fairs or career networking events when you're meeting with many people and want to leave them with something more than just a business card. Kasi nga maliit lang naman yan, back to back pa. So para lang siyang calling card or business card. You can also use a mini resume when you're networking and would like your contact to pass on your information to a hiring manager or recruiter. Kasi sometimes, if you're an applicant and you're looking for a job, of course, you have to go to different job fairs. So, very handy na meron kang mini resume para at least kapag nakita mo na okay yung isang job posting, so madaling magbigay ng brief summary about you dun sa employer or sa human resource personnel. So at least ganyan lang muna. And then later on, if you will be called for an interview, then you may submit the other type of resume. Yun na, kung ano yung hihingin sa atin ng employer. Anong type of resume. Kasi minsan, other employers have preferred type of resume because it depends on also of their purpose, ano yung makikita nila, gustong makita sa resume ninyo or resume ng applicant. So that's it. So we have discussed the different types of resume. Always remember, there are 3 responses to a piece of design. Yes, no, and wow. Wow is the one to aim for. So, remember, if it's time for you to apply for a job and you're about to do a resume or compile or compose a resume, you have to think the response of the hiring manager. So, dapat ang kanyang response ay wow. So, that is what we have to aim for, not only in preparing a resume, but of course in everything that we do, we have to aim for wow. Alright? So that's all. I hope you learned a big something in our lesson today. Thank you. Stay safe and God bless everyone. If you have any clarifications or questions regarding our lesson, you may send a private message or you may send a message in our group chat, or you may type in your comments in the comment section of our Google Classroom. Alright, so to God be the glory. Till our next meeting here in Great Research. Bye-bye!